Did you get what you wanted? Did you get what you wanted? Yeah. This is what you wanted, huh? He won. I hope you got exactly what you wanted. I hope you got and you know what, for all of the black people who were quote unquote mad at the Democratic Party because they wouldn't give you reparations or they wouldn't promise you a black focused vote or whatever it is. I hope you get Trump, who's not going to promise you anything. He's going to take you back to slavery. I hope he calls you monkey. I hope he calls you jigaboo and a spook. I hope he calls you monkey twice. I hope buck breaking comes back. I hope they call all the black women mammies. I hope all of that happens so you can see what you asked for. I hope that all the Mexicans who were afraid of illegal immigrants just as much as the other people were, I hope those people get sent back to their country. Yeah. I hope all of the Hispanics in Miami-Dade who were just afraid of communism because they came from a country that was just ravaged by it. I hope that they get shown what it looks like to really be ravaged. I hope they get sent back on boats. I hope they have to swim back. I hope their back has to be wet all over again. Because that's what he's going to make you do. He's going to make you swim all the way back. Yeah, all those people in Michigan who didn't support Kamala Harris because she wouldn't say the word weapons embargo. Yeah, I hope they're forced to go through what happened right after 9/11. Yeah, flight risks all of you. He's gonna put all of you in internment camps. Because that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to be in an internment camp. You wanted that, all right? That's what you wanted. I hope everybody who had religious values and so that they wouldn't support Kamala Harris, I hope you get forced to have babies. I hope your father assaults you and therefore you're forced to have the baby that you wanted so badly. I hope that's what happens to you. I hope you get every racial epithet and I hope you get all of the disrespect that you deserve. Because remember that people like us tried to stop stuff like that and you wouldn't listen. So I hope they call you a monkey, a spook, a jigaboo, and I can't even say the other words because I'll get banned. So thank you. Have a good day. I ain't even vote for the motherfucker. What the fuck did I do?
Three Democratic senators are retiring in blue-leaning swing states ahead of the 2026 midterms, and the party doesn't sound too worried about it, even as Republicans promise to make New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Michigan into battles next year. Senate Democrats said this week that retiring incumbents in those states would give them good opportunities to elect younger and more diverse candidates. How can I be someone who just replaced my senior senator and not think that it is a good idea? Said Michigan Senator Elisa Slotkin, who replaced Debbie Stabenow this year. She is working to ensure Democrats hold her fellow Michigander Gary Peters' seat after he exits next year. Only in the U.S. Senate could it be radical to retire at 66 years old, right? Slotkin quipped of Peters, "It is an apt moment to consider new recruits for the caucus run by Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, 74, who is feeling an onslaught of grassroots frustration over his decision to not pick a government funding fight with President Donald Trump. Schumer will have to defend the seats being vacated by Peters." Senator Tina Smith in Minnesota and Senator Jeanne Shaheen in New Hampshire at 78, the oldest of the three Democrats who've opted to retire. The three-term Shaheen told Semaphore she was cognizant of not wanting to be here if I were in a position that I could no longer do a good job for New Hampshire and do a good job for the country. Republicans may have tried to make her age an issue if she ran again, though former Senate campaign's chief Chris Van Hollen said she would have had a very strong chance of winning again. A poll conducted last month for the conservative news site New Hampshire Journal found 60% of likely voters, including 49% of Democrats, were concerned about Shaheen's age if she sought a new term. The same poll put former GOP Governor Chris Sununu ahead of Shaheen in a potential matchup. One day before her announcement, Sununu told the Washington Times that he might run for the seat because she is very vulnerable and very beatable. Former Senator Scott Brown, who lost to Shaheen in 2014, also met with Senate Republicans this week. Democrats now see Chris Pappas, 44, as the likeliest candidate to replace Shaheen. He'd also diffuse the age issue in the race. In Michigan and Minnesota, leading candidates include two younger women, State Senator Mallory McMorrow in the former and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan in the latter. You look at some of the candidates in these different states that are considering it, and that is a lot of exciting young energy that I think can really help the Democratic Party, said New Jersey Senator Andy Kim, 42, who challenged disgraced former Senator Bob Menendez last year after he was indicted on bribery charges. The Democratic caucus on the House side, it's older than the Republican side, Kim added. I think it's the same on the Senate side as well. The party's retirements are unlikely to stop with the 3 senators who have already announced. Illinois Democrats also expect Senator Dick Durbin, 80, to leave at the end of this term, though he has not announced his plans. Former GOP leader Mitch McConnell, who is 83, is also retiring after next year. National Republican Senatorial Committee Chair Tim Scott celebrated Shaheen's retirement, and the committee shared a memo that suggested the state was shifting right. Republicans gained ground even as Donald Trump lost it last year. Yet GOP strategist Jim Merrill, who is not working with any candidate, said that Shaheen might have been more vulnerable than a new candidate, given what happened with Biden last year and the fact that she'd be 80 if she won again. The age question was coming up, he said. Shaheen wasn't holding town halls, wasn't having many interactions with voters. A campaign against her would have highlighted her energy and engagement, and that won't happen now. There's ample reason to believe Democrats can hold New Hampshire, Michigan, and Minnesota even with the retirements of Peters, Smith, and Shaheen. This isn't like the crisis Democrats faced last year in West Virginia, which instantly turned red when former Senator Joe Manchin retired. Manchin was the last electable Democrat in a state racing to the right. By contrast, Republicans haven't won a Senate race in New Hampshire since 2010, and it's been far longer in Minnesota and Michigan. The Biden debacle is still rippling through Democratic politics, but it was one of many crises driven by aging politicians that the party faced and ignored for most of last year. The late California Senator Dianne Feinstein's decline caused repeated problems, from her botched questioning of now Justice Amy Coney Barrett to her bungling of allegations against now Justice Brett Kavanaugh in the House. 2 elderly Democrats died this year after campaigning with cancer diagnoses. The subsequent deaths of Sylvester Turner and Raul Grijalva will make it easier for the House GOP to move legislation for months until their states can hold special elections for their safe seats. Notably, Shaheen was showing no Feinstein-like signs of decline or illness, which also contributed to 2 elderly House Democrats, Jerry Nadler and David Scott, losing their prime committee spots. 2 younger challengers earlier this year, but Democrats' interest in electing 40-somethings to replace her, as well as the Peters and Smith, shows a healthy desire to move beyond the Biden experience. And it represents one more chink in the armor of decorum that protected the late Robert Byrd and Thad Cochran, who won their final terms despite being too feeble to fulfill them.
You're fired, and in case your ears are fucked, get the fuck